português ou falar inglês? Eu prefiro sempre falar na minha língua, mas se há aqui pessoas que falam inglês, falam inglês.
Any internationals in the room?
Yeah, English only.
Anyone who doesn't understand Portuguese?
Yes, a couple of them.
Okay. Then good afternoon to you all, and my first words are to congratulate Fintech Portugal for this initiative. Fintech House is a great idea, and it's lovely on for a variety of reasons. This is a great building in central location in Lisbon, and it's great that it's now bursting with ideas, initiative, and talent. I think it's good that these old palaces don't go all for hotels or high-price apartments. So thank you for that idea. The second one is that this is a testament to something which is really significant for the country and the Portuguese economy as a whole, which is the ability that we have developed both to catalyze and suggest the appearance of new companies, new entrepreneurs in areas which are advanced technologically. This has enhanced the profile of the country internationally, and in turn has made the country attractive to others who come from abroad, who come to our cities, who help us to grow and to cross-fertilize the initiatives in the country with new ideas. Thank you also then for those of you who come from abroad and find a house at this Fintech House. The technology has been, of course, one of the ideas that has been internationally associated with Portugal in the last few years. I have witnessed personally the change of perception about this country when I travel around the world or I talk to foreign investors. 10 years ago, the image of this country couldn't be worse. We were on very dire straits, we were on a path for impoverishment, we would be out of the European Union in a couple of months. This was what was said in the world. And 20 years ago, of course, if we were known at all, we were known by being a sort of backward place with probably some good wine, but not very well known, and good beaches in the south. That was the idea. And when we now look at the world, we are known for initiative, we are known for the capacity to attract talent which comes from other places, which are conquered by our lifestyle, by the safety of our cities, and the quality of our life and climate. But more than that, we have been known by becoming an export-driven country, which is, and also a place where talent finds a possibility to project itself internationally. Now, this has happened by virtue of a number of Portuguese entrepreneurs, which maybe a decade ago started to expand the possibilities of technology. 30 years ago, we made a very significant decision to have a stronger scientific and technological system, starting with universities, laboratories and the like, and we sent abroad a number of students and graduates and postgraduate students to study in the best universities in the world, and we started to develop ideas and service the companies that we have here. And then some of these people started to create new companies which were turned to the world on areas such as cybersecurity, on areas such as artificial intelligence, on areas of just servicing a digital economy which was then just appearing. And this has attracted attention. I think this country has made a significant effort in the last 5 or 6 years to make sure that this nascent, this emerging reality was nurtured and supported, whether with public funds, whether with the ability to work with the authorities to find a place, whether to work with universities to foster talent, and whether to work with established companies who would take the ideas and initiatives to bring innovation into their own their own businesses. And as we developed and established this more, we're going to take a step forward in this respect. I think we are now all conscious around the world, but particularly in Portugal, that the digital transformation is something that is going to happen, that is going to accelerate and impact profoundly the way societies, companies, people live, work, and relate to the world. And we now understand that those countries, those companies, who not only embrace this, but push ahead very fast these ideas, will have an opportunity to take the full advantage of the opportunities that digital transformation exists. So we're putting forward, I think, a strategy together with all the society to make sure that we are well equipped to take full advantage of these opportunities. Working more with capacity, making sure that people have the capacities and the skills to work in a digital age. Make sure that all our population is fluent in the digital access to services and companies. Making sure that our companies are up to speed with digitalization. Making sure that government is also up to speed with them. Making sure that the infrastructure in the company is prepared, in the country is prepared, that we produce and develop and continue to reproduce the talent and the innovation in areas which will be critical for the future development, and making sure that the regulation is fit for purpose in areas where we are only discovering what is going to happen. Now, I love this fintech example, because actually, if you consider what's happening in the financial services, payment services, insurance industry, I am reminded always of the comment that I heard to someone who used to be my partner a few years ago. And he always said, a bank are contracts and data. Because basically, everything that a bank has of value are rights over another party. This is supported by contract. And this is massive because you have lots of information and you have to manage that, you have to process, you have to learn from that, and you have to be sure that you manage all this flow in a manner which is more efficient, more purposeful for your clients, more meaningful for whoever works in these organizations. This is the dream of any techie, because there's money, there's data, and there's the need to become even more effective in using the expanding capacity of technology. And at the same time, this is an extremely regulated industry, and has become even more so since the great financial crisis. So these very heavy beasts move around in a manner which needs to be ever more creative, but they are tightened by this. And the third thing is that the way all industries relate to their clients is being transformed by technology and by digital. So there's a huge opportunity. So what do we think we can offer to an industry which is hungry for innovation, is barely able to produce it internally, and is therefore, as we have just heard, willing to listen to ideas, to take on ideas, to support ideas, whether by financing it or by supporting a project such as this. They are paying attention, and they need another thing which we take very seriously. Because what you are developing are activities, systems, ideas, which are not even in existence right now. You're going to be bumping against the walls of regulation. Regulation is looking at what was, at the problems of the past. And what you are doing is creating new things which regulators, supervisors weren't even thinking about. So couple of years ago, I started to have a discussion with our supervisors to make sure that we learned with more developed jurisdictions and saying, how can we provide an environment where fintechs can experiment new things which may not be completely compliant with the existing regulation. And we started to play with the Securities Commission about regulatory sandboxes and the like. We're going to take this further. We're going to prepare legislation for technologically free areas, where in a number of sectors you can experiment. Whether it is autonomous vehicles which cannot be tested in the road because never the vehicles will comply with the road legislation, whether it is unmanned vehicles who need to experiment too, whether it is space launches of rockets who are going to put microsatellites into space. There's a lot of things to be doing, and what we want to make is make sure that this country accelerates its transformation by embracing technology, by working with the skills of the people, supporting companies that embracing digitalization, and having a fit-for-purpose government. It is huge, but it's a great opportunity. We must make this in a manner which doesn't leave anyone behind within our country, and is welcoming to those who come from abroad and are also benefiting from this environment and contributing to our challenge. Thank you very much. Congratulations once more. This is a great idea, and I wish you all very much good success.
We're done. It's time for a cocktail.